Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you are new. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight into today's video. So I first just want to say that I am so happy to be back. I had a very chill break and I really think that I did need it because I was just not feeling it, and that's just not cool. But I do hope that while I was away, you guys were taking care of yourselves, and yeah, I'm super happy to be back. But besides that, let's go ahead and jump straight into today's video. So we are starting off today's video with a little bit of an unboxing and review on some Madam Glam polishes that they sent over for me. So let me go ahead and get this open. Okay, so I have the 4 colors that I selected from their brand new August collection. Let's go ahead and start swatching these colors. The first color that I have here is called Divine Self. The next color here is called Aurora. Next up, we have New Quest. And last but not least, I have 8 of Blue. So these are the 4 colors that I chose, and I really do like this blue here. I think I want to do something with this today. Just in general, I feel like I've said this before about previous Madam Glam polishes that I have tried, but the consistency is literally perfect. It's not too thick, not too thin, and I really do enjoy how full coverage it is even on the first layer. Now, of course, you may want to go in with a second layer just to be completely safe. But you could really get away with wearing these with 1 layer. Mine is this one because it's more of a sheer color, but for the most part, I think these colors have a really great consistency. All right, so the colors are all swatched and we are finally ready to go ahead and move on to today's nail set. Okay, so here's what my natural nails are looking like, and I'm not gonna lie guys, while I was taking my little break, I did not keep up with my nails at all. My cuticles are kind of overgrown and my nails are super long. This is the longest my nails have been in a very long time. The first thing I'm gonna do is take my cuticle pusher just to kind of push back any dead skin. And honestly, it just feels so nice to finally be doing my nails. My nails have just been looking really crazy lately, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna wait until I do my nails to really go ahead and make them look nice. But I've been walking around with them looking terrible for the longest. And you guys, I'm not gonna lie, I have been dreading walking around with my nails looking like this. So this honestly is really nice to do. Next, I'm just going to take this cuticle bit here to work this around my cuticles and further lift up any dead skin. And just for reference, I am using this on a very low speed. So for today, I'm going to go at about 5,000 RPMs. And I do just want to let you guys know that it is currently thundering outside. So if you can hear anything in the back, that's what that is. I apologize. And while I'm doing this, I do like to make sure that I'm holding the drill bit parallel to the nail surface. So I want to make sure that it is nice and flat at the cuticle area. So you don't want to have it kind of tilted upwards because you'll start to create a ring of fire, and that just leads to thin and damaged nails, and we really do not want that. Next, I'm going to go ahead and cut back the excess dead skin using my cuticle nippers. So I went ahead and clipped back my cuticles, and as you can see, it's kind of like white and a little bit crusty like around my cuticles. So I'm just going to take this ball bit to kind of get rid of any of the like flaky skin that's like left behind. And I'm really only focusing this on my skin, and of course I'm using a very low speed. And next, I'm going to go ahead and clip down my nails because as you can see, they're pretty long. And I'm just going to file them even using this little nail file. And lastly, I'm going to very gently go over the surface of my nails using my mini buffer. Okay, so my nails are nice and prepped. I'm going to go ahead and put on my peel off base coat using a little bit of cuticle oil and some matte top coat. So I'm first going to put a very small drop of oil onto my nails, and I'm making sure to rub this in really good because the matte top coat makes it so that these pop off super easily. So I really don't need too much of this oil on my nails. And next, I'm going to go in with 2 layers of my matte top coat. And I'm going to go ahead and cure each layer for a full 30 seconds. Okay, so I have my matte peel off base coat fully applied, and I did go ahead and size out all of my nail tips for today. To go ahead and cure these on, I'm going to be using some base coat. Okay, so as you can see, I did go ahead and double tip my pinky because I do want my nails to be pretty long for today's nail set. The next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is cut down my pinky because obviously it's a little bit too long. And I'm also going to go ahead and cut down my thumb, and to do that, I do like to make a little bit of a pinching motion. And of course, anything that overlaps, I just go ahead and cut off. And the last step before we move on to the application is to kind of shape up this pinky because I did go in with a bigger tip at the end. I'm going to use my cuticle nippers just to cut down the sides a little bit. And I'm also just going to get rid of the excess tip that's poking out here on the sides. And I'm just going to go ahead and file this in just a little bit. And I'm making sure to only focus the nail file on top of the nail tip because I don't want to file away that matte peel off base coat. All right, we are finally ready to move on to the application. So let's go ahead and get straight into that. Okay, so now that we are onto the voiceover section of this video, I do just want to very quickly let you guys know exactly what I'm doing. So I'm first starting out by adding a very small amount of rhinestone glue to the nail tip so that I can apply my glitter and my dried flowers. Now, I can't remember exactly who I saw do this method, but I know that it was definitely a nail tech on Instagram. And of course, credit where credit is due, but I do want to say that this is definitely a really good kind of like workaround for encapsulating anything in your nails, because using clear can kind of be a little bit difficult, especially if you are a beginner or you're like me and you're just bad at using clear acrylic. So yeah, I would definitely recommend trying this out if you are looking to try and like do encapsulation more, because I know that I definitely want to practice using more clear acrylic, but for encapsulating anything, yeah, I can't do it. Now, as for the dried flower placement, I kind of just went a little bit random on this one. I didn't really reference the photo too much because in the photo, I feel like they used a lot more dried leaves than flowers, if anything. So yeah, I kind of just took my own like spin on it and I added some colorful flowers here and there. And once I was done adding in those dried flowers and the glitter, I did go over with a layer of top coat before I moved on to my acrylic application. All right, so we are finally ready to jump into today's application, and I did go ahead and add a very thin layer of nude to the base of my nails. And then afterwards, I did go ahead and cap everything off with some clear acrylic just to build up the structure. Now, usually I wouldn't build the structure with clear. I would normally just go in with the same nude that I'm using. But I think that this is a good method, especially if you don't want to use up all of your cover products. Using clear to build that structure is a good idea. Now, for me personally, this was definitely a struggle because again, I really suck at clear, but I think that like it was still better for me to use clear instead of my cover nude. Now, speaking of being really bad at using clear, I actually did mess up my thumbnail really bad, and that was kind of annoying, but like I didn't show it anyway, so like it's fine. All I know is that I have to hurry up and like get better at using it because I have like maybe 2 or 3 sets coming up after this one that's going to be clear, so I gotta clean up my act fast because I'm gonna need all of the luck that I can get. All right, so after I have the nude nails out of the way, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the nails with the flowers. And as you can see, I do like to work in very small beads whenever I'm doing an ombre nail. Working with really small beads whenever you're doing an ombre is probably the best idea, because if you're working with such a large bead, you can accidentally drag down too much product, or the product will end up drying up before you can actually blend it out. So just in general, working with smaller beads just allows you to have more control over the product. Okay, so here is what my application is looking like, and as you can see, I'm not the greatest with my capping abilities, but I tried my best. So the next thing that we're gonna go ahead and do is shape up these nails. And I'm first gonna start off by filing the sidewalls and the undersides of my nail using my 8080 grit nail file. Next, I'm going to go in with this carbide bit just to go ahead and seal my cuticles. Next, I'm going to go back in with my 80/80 grit nail file just to completely smooth out the surface of the nails. Next, I'm going to go ahead and shape up the free edge. Okay, so now I'm going to go back in with my carbide bit just to go ahead and thin out the undersides of the nails because as you can see, they're a little bit too thick. So I'm just going to make it look a little bit more crisp. And lastly, I'm going to go in with my mini buffer just to get rid of any scratches. Okay, so the shaping and filing is 100% done. I'm gonna go ahead and wash my hands before we go ahead and get into the nail art. All right, the hands are washed and we are finally ready to move on to today's nail art. So today's nail art is inspired by Polished by Jen over on Instagram, if you can already tell by the flowers. And honestly, I've been wanting to do this nail set for a while. I just haven't gotten around to doing it because I had some other sets planned, but I'm definitely like already loving it. And I wish I kind of like did it sooner because it's like kind of old now, but you know what, that's okay. So I think for today's nail art, I'm going to use this color. This is the color Nucleus, and I'm just going to put a little bit of this onto my mixing plate. And before I do anything, I'm just going to wipe off my nails with some isopropyl alcohol. All right, so for these two fully nude nails, I'm just going to be creating a super basic French tip, and I do want it to be kind of like deep, so I'm going to start about here. This is about 1/3 of the way down the nail. And I'm going to go ahead and cure this layer for a full 30 seconds. So for these two nails with the flowers, it's basically just like swirls and some butterflies added here and there. So I'm gonna take the same long nail art brush just to create some swirls as like thin as I can, because in the reference photo, they're kind of thin. Okay, I think this is kind of good. This is honestly the best that I can get. I'm gonna go ahead and cure this for about 10 to 15 seconds. All right, so the last thing we need to do is go ahead and start gluing on some of the nail charms. So I have these butterflies here, and I also have some of these little colorful flowers, and I'm most likely gonna go for these. They're not the exact same blue, but close enough. So I'm just gonna take my rhinestone glue, and I'm gonna glue a few of these flowers on the corner of my French tip nails. All right, and that completes the nail art. I'm just gonna go in with a single layer of top coat. And lastly, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this off with some cuticle oil. And that completes today's set. I really do hope you guys enjoyed this one. I really did enjoy these Madam Glam gel polishes, and even though I only used one of the colors, I think that all 4 of these colors could definitely work for this nail set. And I did mention this a little bit earlier on when I was swatching these polishes, but the consistency is absolutely perfect. Like, it's not too thick, not too thin, and it has a really good amount of coverage. So if you are interested in any of these gel polishes, I will leave them listed down in my description box below, as well as the official Madam Glam website. And also, I want to give a huge thank you to Madam Glam for sending me these gel polishes. As always, they're like amazing. Like, I love the consistency. Like, I'll keep saying it, like the consistency is so good. But of course, I'm so grateful to Madam Glam for sending me these gel polishes. And of course, like I said, I will leave everything listed down in the description box below. But as always, I want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in today, and I will see you guys in the next one.